All right. Okay. We're starting this reading with the Fool, and straight away it feels like a reminder that this story began with two people who saw the world in totally different ways, but somehow it worked. There was excitement, curiosity, and that rush that comes with not knowing where something's heading, but wanting to jump in anyway. Someone took a leap, but the other hesitated, and now we're left wondering if it could have gone differently. The next row, the Ten of Wands and the Knight of Cups, tells me that one person carried the emotional weight of this connection. They might have been the one always reaching out, trying to keep things going, showing up with heart and hope, but it got heavy. Maybe they felt like they were always the one holding space, while the other person couldn't or wouldn't. The Knight of Cups shows good intentions, but paired with the Ten of Wands, it's that bittersweet feeling of, I meant well, but I'm tired. Then comes the Three of Wands, and this feels like the distance that built between the two of you. Maybe there's physical distance, one person moved on, or it feels like they're in a whole other world now. But there's also emotional distance. It's that sense of waiting to see if the other person will come around, watching the horizon for some kind of sign, but not knowing if it'll ever come. Next row, Six of Swords, Page of Cups. This shows a quiet move towards healing, maybe even an apology that never got said out loud. Someone here wanted to fix things or start fresh, but it didn't quite land. It's the message that never got sent, the words rehearsed but swallowed. The Six of Swords says you had to keep going, even when it hurt. And the Page of Cups is the part of you that still wonders, what if they meant more than they could say? Then we hit the Eight of Wands in the center there, which feels like something changing fast. Maybe a message came through unexpectedly, or you suddenly saw something that reminded you of them, and it stirred everything back up. It's like you thought you were over it, and then boom, like the energy picks up again, and those feelings come rushing back. The Seven of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. This combination says someone's been standing their ground, staying guarded. Maybe you've had to defend your boundaries or prove that you've moved on, even when it doesn't fully feel true yet. The Knight of Pentacles shows that slow, steady effort to rebuild yourself, to get back into a rhythm, focus on work or healing, and not let this situation knock you off balance again. Then there's the Eight of Pentacles. And this is the part of the story where you start to see your own growth. So you've learned a lot from this connection, however long it may have been. Maybe about what you need, what you deserve, or how much energy you give away or are willing to give away. It's that point where you realize that even though it hurt, you're better off for having gone through it. Now looking at both sides of this connection, right? So on one side, we've got the Four of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, and Queen of Swords. So this person feels shut out, but also a little closed off. They might be holding on to pride, keeping their emotions locked away, pretending not to care. The Queen of Swords shows that they're thinking a lot, maybe even justifying their distance. But underneath that, there's loneliness. They miss what they had, but they don't know how to admit it without losing control. It's giving very facade energy there. On the other side, it's the Eight of Swords, Five of Wands, and Justice. So this person feels trapped in their own thoughts and guilt. There's inner conflict. Part of them wants to fight for this, but the other part says they got what they deserved. Justice brings in accountability, so this person might be realizing now that they messed things up, but they're also afraid to face the consequences. It's like they know they owe an explanation, but they don't know how to start that conversation. Now at the bottom of the deck, I pulled the Two of Cups, Devil, Five of Swords, Knight of Swords, and Seven of Cups. And this tells me that even if there has been silence, there is still this intense pull between you two. The Two of Cups shows that the bond is real, but the Devil and the Five of Swords remind us how messy it got. So ego, temptation, stubbornness, maybe even things left unsaid that turned into misunderstandings. There's confusion still lingering with the Seven of Cups, but also a truth that wants to come through. When I faced the deck up at the end, it landed on Temperance, so balance, healing, patience. This connection may not be over in spirit, but it is shifting. It's teaching both of you something about self-worth, about timing, and what it really means to meet someone halfway. So in the end, this is a story about timing, right? It's pride and it's growth. You carried a lot of the emotional weight, but you're learning to put it down. They are struggling with guilt and confusion, but they aren't ready to own it yet. The connection still exists beneath it all, But Temperance reminds us that time and space are what's needed now for clarity and healing. So your advice with this one is to step back and give it time and don't wait around. Watched Kettle and all that.